players go out. Within 2 minutes, one of the Wigan forwards has smacked one of the St Helens forwards in the face, lying on the deck, and punches him in the face. You think, yeah, that was dominant. He did get on top, but unfortunately now you're going to get sent off and cost your team the final. Next lose a dot ball by Amir. Yeah, don't overdo it, mate. I think the next time he runs on, he's in big trouble. He cannot afford to do that one more time. You know, they've talked to him twice now. Third time he'd be off. And if he is, that's it. He might as well call the game right now. You know, 3 overs, he's gone for just 6. They're finding it hard to hit him. You're going to take a risk if you're trying to hit him. But he's, I think, the best bowler for Pakistan by a mile.
And it shouldn't be a problem. If it was the first couple of paces, then you've got a problem. You've got to change it where you're delivering from. But it's not. It's just to sort of follow through when he's virtually stopped moving and he's just putting his feet down on the pitch.
Hassan Ali coming in. Ball. Thinking about the single there, Roy drops it into the ground, but there's certainly not anything there.
I've seen too many quick singles or anything so far. Another feature of certainly England's opening pair and Australia's opening pair is a very, very good communication of when to go, when to stay quickly. Again, under Darwin, Rohit's probably got a little bit more telepathic understanding. Drop the ball quickly and both go.
Next delivery straight through mid-wicket, and they do both go. This time with a big gap, and the ball's hit slowly enough for that. There's a lot to be said for those understandings. Whenever you watch Windies, you realise they just don't bother working on it. They're the worst team at running between the wickets, I think. I don't know if the stats to back that up, but generally speaking, there'll be one run out. So then you get the odd player who's just as terrible running between the wickets.
Well, Chris Gale's obviously terrible by virtue of just being
hamstrung and what have you. I mean, he got a bad back. You know, in the first couple of overs he'll run 1 or 2, and then after that he virtually has to walk. As Hassan Ali comes in, shorter ball, flicked through mid-wicket. There's a man at the boundary who will pick that up. Poor ball that from Hassan Ali. Decent pick up by Fakar, limits the damage to just 1.
Yeah, they've at least got the man out there a little bit square, haven't they? So not too far for him to move to collect that within a deep fine leg. We've got another boundary to Rahul. He's still more cautious, probably more careful of these 2 batsmen at the moment.
Next delivery. Oh, and he takes a risk there. Was that Imad diving for the ball? No, it's Imam. But he didn't get it, and that's 4 runs. But Imam not far away from that. He hit it upishly, didn't he? And he took a risk.
He did, but he hit it very hard, didn't he? I suppose one of those is you hit it absolutely straight at the field and then you risk it. It's far enough away, isn't it? I'd say it's risky in that he hit it up when he could have hit it down, I guess. But it seems to be the way, modern way, isn't it? Just make sure you clump it, get most of the bat on there. Figure it's going to go fast enough to beat the field unless it pretty much hits it. There's got no chance.
Here comes Hassan Ali again, outside of stump and leave. We saw one like that yesterday. I think the Markham catching one that was absolutely hit flush, lasered. And just an arm comes out and the ball sticks in, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it happens, isn't it? And you think, well, batsman's a bit unlucky, but it's the breaks, aren't they? Seen several great catches so far in this tournament.
Yeah, 26 for none, and with the run rate 4.46, India have not quite escaped the clutch in Pakistan yet. If you had a wicket or 2 to the score, then it would look good, but this ball up in the air, and it goes over the rope for 6. So really good hit that from Rohit, and I'm afraid Hassan Ali has just got nothing today. I also feel, watching this sort of opening, that we're going to get pretty big scores today. The pitch looks dry as a bone, flat as a pancake. I don't think there's anything there for the bowlers really. Amir's getting his tune out because he's putting the ball where he wants to, and he's bowling a bit quicker. But Hassan Ali, sort of, medium, fast. no movement off the seam, nothing going on. He's proving quite easy to hit.
Well, we've seen 2 or 3 short balls now, and even the short ball from Amir got pummeled for 4, which suggests, as I say, there's not that too much pace in the pitch. It was, again, going back to yesterday's game, Australia, Sri Lanka, every time bowlers erred wide or short, they got punished. As soon as you bowl it straight and full, you're all right.
And that was slung across the right-handed right hole by Amir. But from the angle he's got, it's a difficult ball to hit. Yeah, Hassan Ali just bowling short there. You just think, well, mate, you're not quick enough for that. He's just out of form, and that just happens, doesn't it? Watched Amble yesterday, like watching paint dry. Mistiming every single shot, and it's only, years of experience that's seen him through at the minute, because he looked bang out of form. Next delivery, that again, a leave by Raul. Have to fight another day. 7 from 18, but happy to watch. Amir chuck these missiles widely off stump, trying to tempt them in, but with Rohit 25 from 20 at the other end, KL Raul's got the pressure taken off him, and although Mohamed Amir is going for less than 2 and over at the minute, unfortunately at the other end Hassan Ali and his buffet bowling's offering over 8.5 and over. Amir's going for less than 2 and over at the minute. Amir, unfortunately at the other end Hassan Ali, full of delivery, and his buffet bowling's offering over 8.5 and over. Single. Amir's going for less than 2 and over.
Yeah, it takes all that pressure off, like you say, doesn't it? If the other end's giving you runs, then you can afford to look at the opposition's premier bowler and just say, well, okay, we'll just nudge a few singles here and there, take no risks whatsoever. We don't need to attack because we're getting 7, 8 and over at the other end anyway, so there's no risk. Amir's the danger man because he's quite capable of taking 2, 3 quick wickets and putting you in a heap of trouble.
I just wonder, would you think about spinner in power play? Next delivery just blocked away. Amir's going well at one end, Hassan Ali's letting all the air escape at the other. A quick single there, and there's a throw that hits the stumps from Shadab. I think the batsman was very comfortably in, but good work nonetheless.
Yeah, we started the World Cup, didn't we, with South Africa opening the bowling with Imran Tahir, and we thought, maybe this is going to be the 92 World Cups in New Zealand, Australia, where New Zealand opened with Deepak Patel all the time, the off spinner. We thought, maybe the side's going to try that more often, but they don't seem to have done so very often. I know the fielding restrictions really don't help spinners in particular, do they? But as you say, you wonder whether you just give something different, just try it, see what happens.
Ooh, that's a good ball again. He's cut behind the batsman, and again he's a lucky boy. Raul, 8 from 20. Yeah, the players that have been dropped from Pakistan, no surprise, Asif Ali, who dropped, I think is the pertinent key word there. They dropped 2 dollies against Australia, and then change Afridi is the other player I think missing out. And Shadab and Imad have come in. Next delivery, and slung wide, and keeping by Safraz allows a single there. So 3 off the over. Again, Amir bowling well with no great luck. 4 overs and on for 8. Doing his job, keeping it tight. If they only could do that at the other end.
Yeah, Amir certainly played his part, hasn't he? 4 overs for 8 is quality stuff with a maiden as well. Let's say Hassan Ali 3 overs for 26. It'll be interesting to see if Sarfaraz makes the change now. You'd think it's probably time to. Yeah, it is. Wahab Riaz is going to come on. Who's the only other seam option they've got really today, haven't they? They've got a very strong bowling setup in that they've got 7 options to choose from. Maybe the batting's weakened slightly with the inclusion of Imad instead of Asif Ali, but they've certainly got plenty of bowling at this stage. But it's a lot of spin, so they must be hoping that there's help in this pitch. Otherwise, could be in a heap of trouble because India are not renowned as poor players of spinners.
No, they're not. Wahab now he's been brought on because of Hassan Ali's failure. And the first delivery, a loose net, I would have said, walked away. So far we see Mohamed Damir bowling well, but he's had 2 warnings for running on the protected area, and if he gets a 3rd, the umpire will direct the captain of the fielding side to suspend the bowler immediately. So he's the last chance saloon for running on. Anyway, Wahab Riaz now running in, and that one's worked through mid-wicket. Another single. Wahab can go for a lot, but anybody who wants to sort of dismiss him doesn't understand him. You know, he's such a competitive spirit, a try-harder player who can bowl at 90 miles an hour. You know, God forbid you get in his wrong side.
Yeah, he's a wicket taker, isn't he? He's a classic shock bowler, comes in, bowls hard for 2 or 3 overs to try and get a breakthrough.
Next delivery, and that's played down into the ground, dot ball.
I'm sure in an ideal world Pakistan would like to have brought him on a few overs later than they've been forced to, but really with Hassan conceding 26 and 3, you can't really stick with him any longer than that, can you? There's no, you don't want India getting off to even more of a strong start. I mean, they're going along nicely. They're 37 without loss, but the run rate's just a touch under 5, so it's not an absolute flyer, is it, at the moment?
Yeah. Next delivery, and that's worked back with a point for a single. Yeah, I think we're expecting rain, right? So, you know, when it's all adjusted at the back end, with Pakistan batting second, it might well be that they get told, well, you've got 25 overs. But what they will do will be going hell for leather. You know, wickets obviously then play their part. So India have started moderately. If Pakistan now can pick up wickets, they'll be in a good position, as this next delivery is blocked by Rohit. You know, like we said, the rain is going to play a big part today. Ducky Lewis and all that, calculations, get your slide rule out. So I don't think India, it's a nice start by India, 38 for none, you know, they're on top. But like you said, because they're not scoring that quickly, you know, they could sort of be left to rue this. Oh, as Rohit dabs one round the corner, and I think there's a man in the circle jumping up to try and catch, but he's gone for 4 instead. Calculated risk maybe, but that was a close wrong thing.
Again, similar to his drive through the offside, wasn't it? So no attempt to keep it down, just well, if I hit the fielder, I hit the fielder, but otherwise I should get away with it. It was just over the top of the man, it's a short, fine leg, raced away. This is Rohit Sharma, who says not really, I suppose you could say he's played one big shot with the bowler for 6. He's not played any other big sort of expansive shots otherwise, but yeah, he's got 31 from just 24.
They might now he's going to bowl. I think it's a mistake. I would bowl Amir, and I would be trying to get 10 overs out of Amir. And if the rain comes, you know it's going to be, well, you can only bowl one ball away. Why not try and get 10 out of Amir while you can? I think you've got to have a good long look at what the weather's providing. You know, stamping in different ways to Pakistan. They're going to have to use every trick in the book to try and get victory here, I think. Maybe Imad can bowl well.
The rain, when it was forecast, the last forecast I looked, was sort of strangely timed in that it might well be India get through their 50 overs, and then the interruptions come. So it's a sort of tricky situation for both teams, really. As you say, India are under the pressure of you don't want to lose wickets because that'll ruin the calculations later on in the race.
First deliveries are wide, full ball. A little great start that by Imad. Left armour, decent bowler on his day. Second delivery, that's a bit more like it. Punched off the back foot for no run. Of course, born in Swansea, wasn't he? Just down the road. Next delivery just tucked through. to see. We're like in the middle part where they're milking the ball and it just happens to happen. Score predictor suggests 3-4-1. That would take some fetching. He's got a very good batsman, but this next thing we just hit back to the bowler. The but is though, they've got 3 or 4 who've got averages around 40 plus. The but is conversion rate. Somebody needs to go on, make that great big score. You know, your Indian batsmen seem to be more likely to do that. Next delivery and it's blocked away. I think it's more in the Indian psyche to out playing street cricket. Well, you didn't get me out yesterday, so I'm still in. You know, I come back to play the next day. We hear about kids out in the street and he's got 1,000 runs in his innings and all that. You know, you've got to get me out. Next delivery. That's again flicked through mid-wicket for an easy single. And in the end, the over didn't cost too much, but it didn't threaten at all. You know, if you're Pakistan, you've got to get wickets. But also, what I've got to say is this pitch looks flat as a pancake, and I couldn't imagine a good India side being bowled out here.
You wouldn't have thought so, would you? Like say, well, I suppose maybe the weather played some part in the calculation as well, but you'd think if Pakistan won the toss and chose to field first, they must have thought there was a little bit of something in the wicket to try and help them. Well, so far we've seen one ball from Hassan just slightly nibble off the seam, one from Amir swung just a little bit, but it was in the first over, which often the first couple of balls just swing and then it stops. But since then, we've not seen any sort of deviation whatsoever, have we? It's maybe not the quickest pitch we've seen, but so far it looks like a pretty reasonable pitch to bat on first. It's just, as I say, with the weather, it's a toss-up, isn't it? Which were you happier with? Are you happier to get out there and make your score and then take your chances in the rain, or do you want to let India bat and then hope that the calculations work in your favour later on in the day, which sometimes they do, but the Duckworth-Lewis Stern's been modified so many times, it's actually pretty accurate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't get these silly targets where you suddenly need 15 and over for the last 8 overs. It's usually fairly even, so unless Pakistan take wickets, then India are on top of this one.
Yep, they sure are. There's a wild balls, and that again pushed through mid-wicket. They come back for 2. Oh, they've made a bit of a mess of it. Oh, and in the end, Pakistan make a terrible mess as well. You know, there were 2 blue shirts at 1 wicket, and the ball's thrown down to that end. You think, oh, come on. Pakistan were terrible in the field against Australia, and it cost them. And it's just cost them a wicket here.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma. Well, they turned for 2. Rahul had a look, thought about it, and then said no. Takes a step. Rohit's already long gone. Yeah, the throw comes into the keeper's end where Rohit eventually retreats to. He's miles and miles out, isn't he? But throw goes to the other end where Rahul had only taken 2 steps out of his crease, so he was back. And by the time the throw comes back to the keeper, it's too late. Sharma's safely home.
Dearie me. Wherever he has balls, and that's chopped behind point. You know, you don't need to say it, do you? What a stupid throw.
I suppose in the fielder's defence he might have thought, well, Sharma's going to that end and Sharma's the guy we want out, but he quite clearly did not take a glance up, did he? Because one glance would have told him to throw it at the other end. But
it's like a bunny caught in the headlights. I'd rather not think about it. I'd rather just do it. Well, you've got to think about it sometimes, you know. You take a quick single there, and
you also wonder what sort of shout he got from anyone else, because usually you'd be screaming bowlers in, or whatever, wouldn't you?
But you don't have to, because it's so blindingly obvious. And it's Fakaru, just brainless stuff. You know, the batsman. How far is he down when he's sent back? Look, momentum. He's halfway. Yeah. He's absolutely stranded. And then the next mistake is that the ball's chucked in, and was it the bowler tried to catch it, Wahab, and it deflected off him. Oh dearie me. Anyway, next delivery squirts backward a point. I mean, for the neutral, you want to see wickets, don't you? You know that. Again, we talked about the importance of a wicket when it comes to Duckworth Lewis as well.
Yeah, that's the important part. Maybe if it does rain later, isn't it? That you can move that DLS par score in your favour if you suddenly take a wicket or two. If India are none down and 150 on the board, suddenly that DLS is not going to help you at all, is it?
Wahab then running in, and that one again. They're thinking about single, but this time tentatively they both go back. The batsman, 49 for none. 1 ball left of this opening power play. Run rate 4.98. Nothing to write home about, but the nought and the fact that they could have had a wicket. Pakistan will absolutely be deflated. They've had a couple of deliveries cut behind the stumps. You know, on another day, 1 or 2 shots that have been close to fielders. No drop catches, nothing like Asif did against Australia, but sometimes you need that little bit of luck. Yeah. And Fakar really should have got the simplest run out and through to the wrong end. This next delivery, that's a lovely square cut for 4.
Yeah, easy enough, just short and wide from Wahab. Finishes the 10th over, brings up the 50 for India as well, 53 now without loss. Rohit powers along to 37, that was just a gimme really, it was far too wide, it was short. All Rohit did was just slash at it. He knew full well the only man out on that offside is the man down at third man. No chance as long as Rohit gets decent contact on the ball. Sped away for another boundary. He's already hit, where are we, 5 fours in the M6. It's Rahul very, very slow to get going at the moment. 14 from 31 with just the 1 boundary. But it means Wahab's conceded 14 from 2. The way he usually bowls, you'd think might get 1 more over, but certainly no more than 1 over, and then bring him out of the attack and maybe try to spin at both ends, see if he can just slow the momentum. Often we've seen teams, in the majority of the games I've covered, teams when spinners come on early are quite content to just sort of dab singles and not take too many chances. So it might just work slightly in Pakistan's favour. You just buy yourself a few sort of tidy-ish overs of 4 and 5 runs. The problem is they haven't got any wickets.
Yep, Adrian's going to take us through the next 10 overs now.
Yeah, Imad it is to continue. Rahul sweeps that delicately, fine of the man at short fine leg. That'll run away for 4. It's a good shot and a very clever shot from Rahul. So Imad's over starts with a 4, and that's not the start that he would have wanted.
Colourful scene at Old Trafford, and yeah, I mean the Indian supporters probably outnumbering the Pakistan fans 10 to 1, aren't they? It looks like. I mean, all we can see is the Indian flag and the blue shirts dotted around. Certainly less of the green.
Imad in again to Rahul, who's down the track, works it over the top of the man at short mid-wicket. They'll get 2 as Imam runs around. He might even get 3 as a bit of a misfield. Yeah, they come back for a 3rd run, so again that's sloppy fielding. It costs them another single. Imam should have picked that up safely, got it in and kept it to 2.
He's more or less the best fielder against Australia in the deep, foot perfect, but there he, I don't know, cold hands or whatever, just failed to pick that up cleanly, and it's cost another run. And again they're getting a bit disheartened out in the field. You know, I'm sure they wanted to cut out the schoolboy errors.
And that into Rohit this time, turns it round the corner towards the man at short fine leg, but it's an easy single as Rahul takes off straight away.
Well, Imad's bowling at middle and leg and keeps getting clipped easy all the time. He's not offering anything else. I mean, come on, 8 off 3 balls.
As you say, he fires it in occasionally, he needs to toss one up on off stump, doesn't he, and just sort of say to the batsman, well, you're not going to get easy balls every time.
I mean, it's the same ball every time and time again, worked off middle and leg.
Obviously the pressure for this over's gone by 7 runs being scored from the first 3 balls. That's much better. That does turn towards off stump. There's definite turn on that one. Beats the defensive prod of Rahul, strikes him on the pad. But no sort of thought for an LBW shot there. I thought that was quite close, to be honest. Certainly straight, maybe going over the top.
Yeah, going over the top, hits him on the thigh pad, but good ball that.
Yeah, that's better as well. Towards off stump. Oh, it's a really quick single. Oh, he was out with a direct hit. But Rohit dives in, gets home. But that's another poor bit of running, really. It was Shadab Khan coming in quickly from the offside to try and effect that run out flicked the throw stumpwards, but it was wide of the stumps, and even if it had been thrown into Sarfraz's gloves, Rohit was probably still struggling. He was certainly well gone with a direct hit.
I think he's got to look for keeper there. He's got such a distinct advantage. You know, everyone wants to be the hero, but everyone's making a mess of it. You know, just play your game, do the right thing. We talked about it's too much pressure. Everybody wanted to be the big man, but everybody making a mess.
Off stump again from Imad, defended into the offside by Rohit. So a good end to that over from Imad. Just switched his line further over towards off stump, but unfortunately that over still cost him 9 runs. So he's conceded 13 from 2. Rohit's moved on to 38 from 31. Rahul's got 22 from 35. India is 62 without loss after 11 overs.
Looking at what Shadab did again, I mean, he's got one stump to aim at. Chances are you're going to miss it. You know, he could have played it, threw it down on the half volley, gets your wicket keeper in case you miss. That's a percentage play. You know, that's a smart play, but we're not seeing anything smart from Pakistan at the minute. You know, they've just, I mean, they're such a good team, but they are Jekyll and Hyde. And in the field again today, so poor really, and it's costing them dear.
Well, we saw England when they played Pakistan. England had a sort of very odd mixed day in the field, and it cost them. So even the top team, if you don't field properly, you can be in trouble. Shadab short outside the off stump, first ball from the leg spinner, cut away by Rahul. They'll beat the man at deep extra cover and runs away for a boundary. So poor start from the leg spinner. Yeah, it cost. I mean, England lost by 14 runs in the end. Had they caught the catches and fielded like they normally do, they win that game. So you know it makes a massive difference. Yesterday, Sri Lanka probably cost themselves conservatively 30 runs in the field, which would have left them chasing about 300, which is still massive against Australia, but chasing 300 or 340 is a huge difference. Shadab's in, that one's short and cut away into the offside. This time the man at deep extra will field, and it's just a single.
Yeah, scoreboard pressure eventually just crushed Sri Lanka's hopes, didn't it? They got so far, but had they looked at the scoreboard with about 300 on it, maybe a bit more belief, and then instead of silly shots when they get behind it a bit, play more properly, get there, and then you've got a chance of a dart at the back end.
Short from Shadab, heaved into the leg side by Rohit. Oh, it's just wide of the man at long on and running round. Hassan Ali keeps it in the field, so just 2. Rohit smashes his bat against his pad in frustration. Probably felt he should have cleared the ropes with that for 6, but gets 2, so there's 7 from the first 3 balls of this first over from the leg spinner Shadab Khan, so there's nothing too much to worry themselves about. 69 without loss. They're going along at exactly 6 runs and over. So we're just seeing the opening overs. I'll say a couple of near misses for Pakistan, a wasted chance of a potential run out, and that all adds up to India on top at the moment.
Get our fans in that big stand. It's a sea of blue, isn't it? The old green shirt in there.
Not many. Shadab, this is full toss, and that's going to go way back into those Indian fans in the stand. Easy as you like for Rohit, just stood up, big full toss, and just smashed it over cow corner for 6.
Honestly, Pakistan couldn't play any worse than they are at the minute. They've really, they need to huddle up and have a word again, because this is ridiculous. That's a terrible ball from Shadab, and off you go. 91 metres that was hit. They're going to get 400 if they carry on like this, India, aren't they? It's going to be a no contest.
Can Shadab produce this time? He's in. That's better. It's wide of off stump, smashed away by Rohit. In fact, they'll go away behind square on the offside, so not that much better, because it still goes for another boundary. So this is turning into a very expensive
17 off, and there's 1 ball left. And he's got 50. He's going so quickly. You think, I don't even have to bother looking what how many 50s has he got? Well, I can tell you that it's a 43rd 50 in one-day international cricket.
Come off just 34 balls, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Strike rate 147. He's still on the striker's end for Shadab's final ball, which is full on the off stump, covers up in defence into the offside. No run this time, no rush of course. 17 from that first Shadab over, the scoreboard rocketing onto 79 without loss. And it's another example where, as we said, in the first 3 or 4 overs, particularly when Amir was bowling, there were no real chances being taken or anything. India just sort of sitting in there thinking, right, well, our chance will come in 4 or 5 overs time. We don't need to make any effort to attack, and you just do your job, and then you'll get opportunities to score. And that's exactly what's happened in the last 5 or 6 overs.
Exactly. I mean, they looked at the team, thought, right, block Amir, and everything else is fair game. Hassan's not bowling that well. Oh, they've got the spinners in today. Have the big deal. You know, the ball's not spinning. You know, all it is slow bowling that we need to hit, and we can deal with spin anyway. You know, so it looks like they hold all the cards at the minute. 79 for none after 12. Imad's going to bowl 2 overs across 13 from him. You know, hard to know where Safraz can turn.
Well, he's got two other spin options, hasn't he? Mohamed Hafiz and Shoaib Malik. So often they sometimes do make breakthroughs because people think, well, I need to score against the part-timers and take a few chances, but for the time being it's Imad who's over towards off-stump again. This time he's defended into the offside by Rahul and there's no run. He definitely seems to have learnt from the first over and a half where everything was fired leg stumps, and that's probably 4 or 5 deliveries on the trot that have been off-stumpish from Imad, and this one's wide of the off-stump, tempts Rahul into a little prod, goes past the outside edge and into the gloves of Sarfaraz.
It's better from Imad, but somebody needs to play better for Pakistan, don't they? Somebody needs to improve out there. 2 dots for Imad, 2 good balls.
He needs to follow that up. It was full into the off-stump, played away by Rahul off the back foot. They get a single out to deep extra cover. Just the 1 makes it 80 without loss for India. And Imad, so definitely improved since the first few balls this spell. 7 came from the first 2 balls. He's on his way around the wickets again, tossed up towards off-stump, defended by Rohit, no run. Yes, 7 runs came from the first 2 balls of his second over, but since then he's conceded just 3 singles from the next 8 deliveries, so appreciable improvement. This one's driven straight by Rohit, straight back to the bowler. No run. Of course, there's no real scoreboard pressure on India to try and go after him, as they can quite happily play this over out if it's well bowled. Tosses up, Rohit drives into the offside, picks out the man, and there'll be no run to the end of that over. 13 gone now for India. They lost the toss, been asked to bat first. They've made a very, very positive start. With Rohit knocked out an even 50. He faced 38 balls, struck 6 fours and 2 sixes. KL Rahul, top of the order to replace the thumb injury victim Shikhar Dhawan. 28 for 43 boundaries. Circumspect Rohit. Just starting to show signs of a little bit of acceleration. He's nowhere near as experienced in the ODI format as Rohit. Rohit's played 209 matches. Rahul just the 17th. It's going to be Shadab to continue to Rahul, who beats the bowler up towards long on. They'll pick up a single. It's a 1 without loss. Shadab's first over, of course, cost him 17, so it's a big improvement on that. This time the leg spinner. Missed by a margin in the end, I guess. Attempted run out of Rohit Sharma. Bowling of Imad. Better on the off stump. Rohit takes off thinking about a single. Rahul's not interested at all. So probably the right decision. We've seen a little bit of indecisive running on certainly 3 or 4 occasions in this Indian partnership. Obviously not anywhere near as well acquainted with each other and their mannerisms as Sharma would be with Shikhar Dhawan. That's in again, full, driven by Rohit through the gap of cover out towards deep extra cover. It's fielded by Wahab. It's just a single. 2 without loss. This is off-tube studio-based independent commentary on this latest match at the Cricket World Cup, match 22 of the tournament, taking place in Manchester at Old Trafford. The ball goes back to a fairly full ball, and doubting the back to the goal. There's no run better overs so far from Shadab, just 2 from the first 4 balls. Right arm over, smacked down the ground towards long off, got one in Fields. India, having been asked to bat first, will be, I'm sure, very pleased with their start. Certainly put themselves in a very strong position already in this match. Shadab's in, Rohit defends, out to point this time, there'll be no run. So a vast improvement on his previous over from Shadab. 17 from his first over, just the 3 from that one, so 2 overs for 20 for him. Imad has bowled 3 overs for 14. He also improving after struggling early doors, firing it quickly in towards the leg stump, getting turned away and hit away a couple of times trying that approach. The last over and a bit, he's tossed it up just a little bit more, and more importantly he's looking towards middle and off, and that looks a much more challenging line to these 2 right-handers. Imad, of course, left arm taking the ball away from the right-handers with any spin he can impart. He's into Rahul. This one's straight and worked up towards long on, and there'll be another single for India. For Rahul moves to 31 now. India 84 for no wicket. Bright sunshine at the moment in Manchester, so we fear there's the promise of some showers later in the day. So Imad's in, this one's outside off stump and driven through the gap out towards deep extra cover by Rohit into the fielder Wahab Riaz. Yeah, we look like there's certainly some rain in the air later in the day. It just depends how heavy and how persistent those showers are. We might get away with too much time lost. Lose plenty, we just don't know. It's a bit of a waiting game to see what happens. Imad's in, Rahul gets the thick outside edge, it'll go down to a third man, saved just inside the circle by Hassan Ali, keeps it to just the 1. So India content to sit in just a little bit against the spinners at the moment. 86 for no wicket. Rohit on strike, again dabs it into the offside straight at the man at point, and there's no run. So Shikhar Dhawan watching on, he's got a damaged thumb in the game against Australia. He got struck. So Imad's in, tosses this up, and Rohit drives it towards long off this time, and he'll pick up 1 to add to his total. Yeah, Dhawan, they were the estimates were they might miss maybe 3 games, but India not named a replacement for him as yet. They're obviously hopeful that he'll return to action before this World Cup campaign is done. Of course, if you name a replacement, that's the end for the original player, who drops out completely as Rahul drives us towards extra cover, and there's no run. Yeah, once the replacement comes in, then the original selection is ruled out for the rest of the tournament. So I guess in a position like Dhawan, you don't want to say, yes, we'll definitely replace him because such an important player. We'll wait and see. Obviously, if it turns out the injury's not healing, then you call in a replacement. For the time being, you're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, really, aren't you? You've got to play without him, but at the same time, you can't afford to just give up and say, replace him and get someone else in.
Yeah, no, every day you've got to say, are you feeling a bit better?
Yeah.
You know, he just put pressure on, really, but it is what it is. They think he's going to get better, then maybe he will. They're doing all right, so they can sort of postpone that decision till later.
Rohit just rocks back, takes a really delicate, nice shot. It was short and wide from Shadab, but Rohit rocked back and just picked his gap between. There's a short third man and a backward point in place, and he found a gap between those 2 fielders, and no one out on the offside deep behind square, and it just runs away for 4 runs. Excellent shot. In fact, looking at it again, that probably should have been stopped, to be honest. It's a good effort from the fielder, but I think he should have got there.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's difficult. I think he slipped in his first movement, and that didn't help him.
Maybe this is thick outside edge from Rohit. It goes down to short third man. There'll be no run there. 91 for no wicket India. We're in the 16th over. Still in power play 2. Or in power play 2, should I say. So no more than 4 fielders outside the ring. Shadab's in, and Rohit goes for a big slog sweep, which is not the best of shots, as the ball pitched outside off stump and turned further away as well, but he made no contact.
Poor shot that. I mean, he never got to the pitch, did he? So just a swish it out, hopeful, and he's unlucky, Shadab.
Yeah, it's encouraging for Pakistan, as Rohit this time offers a much more conventional forward defensive. It drops down into the offside and is fielded for no run. So that run rate still hovering somewhere near 6. It's just under 6 at the moment, about 5.8, but it's still very, very healthy for India, especially when you factor in no wickets lost, as Shadab tosses up and Rohit turns his wrists on it, gets it out towards long off. They'll pick up just the one as Hassan Ali closes in. 5 from this over from Shadab. Nothing too extravagant about that, but India won't mind. It's just a steady accumulation of runs.
Yeah, I mean, at the minute it does look like they hold all the cards, but you've got to consider that if Pakistan, if it's flat as a pancake and they don't get bowled out either, it'll be about outscoring, won't it?
Yeah, this is short from Shadab. It's straight enough, but just short, and Rahul rocked back, made room to dab it into the offside and takes off for a single to end the 16th over. 93 on the board for India for the loss of no wickets so far. Rahul 33 from 47 and Rohit's on 58 from just 49.
Right then, so where are they going to get to? What score are we looking at? I think they could be looking at 370.
Just because of what I've seen in other matches, I tend to 330, 340, but 370 is quite possible with this Indian lineup, isn't it? We've still got Kohli to come, still got Dhoni, and Pandya went bananas against Australia last weekend, and if they're in a strong position, there's every chance again they'll push him up the order and say, we'll go in and whack us a quick 50. So Imad, the left arm spinner, back into the attack, worked up to long off, and a single to Rohit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously going against that would be the rain, but actually the sun started shining at Old Trafford, believe it or not. This blue sky and white fluffy cloud ahead. I mean, obviously that's going to blow through. We expect showers.
Imad again off stump, just a tad too full, and the easy drive for Rohit up to long off. It was Rahul from the previous ball rather than Rohit. So Rohit gets himself a single off that one. 95 for no wickets, so just 5 away from a century opening partnership. Very comfortable, and so far a couple of early let-offs with balls cut just past the stumps, but since then it's been a fairly steady accumulation, as Rahul proves a point by just tipping it into the offside and taking off for the single.
So far he's not exactly free scoring, is he, KL Rahul? 35 from 49, but with Rohit swashbuckling at the other end, 59 from 50. He doesn't need to be, and yes, it's just a nice steady start, really.
Yeah, Imad to Rohit, that beats the man in the ring at mid-off. They'll get one. I don't think there's a second, there isn't, as fielder closes in quickly and threatens to release the throw. And just one more again, so 4 singles so far, 4 balls in this over. Down on strike to the left arm spinner. That one's down leg side, missed out from Rahul. Sure did touch the pads. No, umpire Bruce Oxenford signals wide. So another to the total for India. Rahul's annoyed with himself, but he can be really. It's wide, so it doesn't matter. This one's on off stump, defended into the offside. No run this time, so first dot ball with the over from Imad. Rahul's not got really going, he's not really charging, but 35 from 50 is fine when you've got Rohit going better than a runner ball at the other end. So Rahul on strike to Imad. It's driven back past the bowler on the leg side of the stumps, and they'll pick up one more to end the over. So Rahul will take the strike, he's moved to 36. Rohit's got 60 in the score now. Just one away from the century partnership. They're 99 for no wicket after 17 overs.
Yeah, just milking the ball in now. Very comfortable that over 6 off it. Shadab Khan comes back in, and Nobody able to really put the clamp on India at all. Nobody got any answers. We've seen the odd good ball from Imad Wasim, haven't we? That's about it really. A couple of good balls that were cut behind the stumps from the quick bowlers, but again it looks almost perfect for Old Trafford, doesn't it? All that blue sky and the sun's out, and it looks like a batsman's paradise.
At the moment, Shadab's going to continue to Rahul, who leaves this one alone outside the off stump. Yeah, I'm sure Pakistan must have thought the overhead conditions and that were questionable when they chose to field first, having won the toss, and it's not worked out so far, has it? The clouds have gone away, and the weather's quite nicely set at the moment. Shadab's in, and Rahul defends, fielded by the man who's in at slip now.
I think it's one of those good toss to lose kind of thing. I mean, both the captains would have done the same, and India would have been bowling. It's hard to second guess yourself, really.
Yeah. Since played into the offside, now bring up the 100 partnership. Rahul takes off quickly, but there's only one as Wahab comes in off the cover fence to field, so that's the 100 without loss. 17.3 overs gone, so the run rate at the moment is at 5.71. Rohit's got 60 to his name, Rahul's got 37, so he's doing a decent job at the top of the order in place of the stricken Dhawan, and got his side off to a very, very handy, very useful start. So Shadab continues to rotate and drives it, beats the man at short cover towards long off, and I'll pick up one more. It's just tap singles at the moment. There's no attempt at all to hit anything big, is there? The last 6, 7, 8, 9 scoring shots have all been singles, so
yeah, I mean it's a very sort of traditional way of going about it. No wickets down, and we just prod the ball around. They're in good shape, so they don't need to force the issue.
I think that part of it is the talk before the tournament was all we're going to see teams get 400 and more and what have you. And actually, once you get into tournament play, it's not quite so easy, is it, to be as free as you score, towards 400. England obviously did against Bangladesh, but 340, 350 is still a hell of a score to get in these games. Just defended into the offside, brings an end to the 18th over. India are 101 for no wicket. Yeah, we saw India made 340-ish against Australia last week. That was enough to win. Australia made 330, 340 yesterday. That was enough to win. I mean, still the highest run chase in a World Cup match is Ireland beating England by getting back 325, I think it is, something like that. So, for all the talk of, well, you need 400 or you need 350, actually, you get 330, you'll win a massive majority of games you play. You might be unlucky and lose one, but you'll win most of the others.
Yeah, you're thinking sort of 19 times out of 20, really.
Yeah.
I think scoreboard pressure could do for Pakistan, and it's almost like Sri Lanka yesterday were chasing. They made a great start, didn't they? It's like you go so far, but one misstep, then you look at the score. Oh, we're not going to do it, and then it just crushes you. You've got to be on the money all the time. There can't be any slack. You keep on going. But I think it's difficult when you're chasing down a great big score. Yeah, I think that's what Pakistan are probably going to have to do here. I agree. I mean, they're just predicting 350. I think they might do a little bit more than that, but they maybe don't have to, and that's the reason why we're seeing them not down tools as such here, but just milk the ball in there, not taking any chances, and they'll say, right, well, we'll reappraise when we maybe get to 30 overs, and we've got X amount. From there on in, we can T20 slog it. We can do that with the best of them, but we don't need to do anything right now. And it's this lack of attack. Pakistan have got no wickets. Now all they're doing is on the defensive. They're just trying to stop the runs hemorrhaging and stop that big score from accruing. But because they're not attacking, we know that any wicket always puts the brakes on. But they've not been able to do that, and that's going to be their downfall today.
Yeah, also it's wickets, isn't it? Wickets are a guaranteed way of slowing momentum down for the batting side, and India, of course, at the moment haven't lost any. Well, if you keep all your wickets or a large majority of your wickets in hand, like say for the last 15-20 overs, you've got licence to just go out and attack all out, haven't you, for those last overs? There's no danger.
Wickets, and that way, we're doing more than T20 slogging with 22 or 25 overs, or the other way around. We're doing that well. We don't need to do that at all. We're going to get a big score irregardless. Once you press the button, you kind of tend to lose wickets. So we'll do that from just 10 overs out. Because we're in such a good position. But you've got the cards in your hand. When you've got all those wickets in hand, it's like, well, we could do this, do that, and think long and hard about it. But you've got options then.
Yeah, it's going to be Imad who continues, probably been the best of the bowlers so far. This one's short and punched into the offside. We could just get one out to Wahab Riaz, who's patrolling that offside boundary. It's conceded 25 now, just over 5 overs. So started off so-so, but his last 3 overs, 3 and a bit overs have been pretty tidy, but not overly threatening us at the moment. As Rahul defends the offside, and there's no run.
Yeah, weird, because he started slinging it middle and leg. It worked away. And then when we sort of pinpointed that wasn't the route for success, he spent one the other way and he never looked back.
Yeah, it's certainly valuable lesson, you'd hope, as this one's outside the off stump and just offers to turn away. It's driven to point. There's no run. Apart from anything else, he's bowled 2 right-handers. You don't want to sling the ball through at leg stump to right-handers, do you? The sort of natural danger of the left arm spin is you can take the ball away from the outside edge of the right-handers, in straight, and push driven back towards the bowler by Rahul. There's no run. Just highlighting that, I think a few deliveries to all from the first couple of overs from Imad. So he's in again. Again, this is nice and straight on the off stump, defended by Rahul, who walks down, picks the ball up for Pakistan keeper.
He's found a nice groove, hasn't he, in this over. He just won off it so far, but Rahul's the one who's really not going quickly at all.
No, he's just blocking an end at the moment, isn't he? As Rahul tries. He'll pick up a 1, which means he takes the strike off from Rohit yet again. 19 overs gone now, 103 for no wicket. India, Rahul 38 from 61, Rohit 62 from 53. So Rohit's slowed down a little bit, hasn't he, as well in the past few overs. But you look at Rahul and you start to think, well, what's your role from this point? Is it just to keep doing this, Obviously, if Rohit gets out, then probably Kohli comes in. There's no real need to change your approach. You just keep batting.
Yeah, he's accumulating. I mean, Rohit's going almost twice as quickly as him. I don't think it matters a great deal, really. 103 for none. The none is the big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't think they need to panic about Rahul going slowly or anything. When Rohit strike rate is 116, 117. I think they're all right. No need to panic, lads.
Yeah, it's just 20 from the last 5 overs rather. So slowed down, but not too worrying for India's. Rahul just dabs his first ball from the leg spinner. Shadab into the offside, takes it for another single.
Well, the fans are still bouncing, aren't they? If the game's just gone a little bit sleepy, the fans have not. They've been enjoying it. Horns are blowing right from the get-go, really. Looks like a hell of an atmosphere. In Manchester City Centre, it looks like they've got a big screen up as well for those who were unlucky enough not to get a ticket.
Shout out to Rohit this time, middle and off. It's defended solidly back to the bowler. Rohit.
Well, they could have played it at Old Trafford, the football ground, and filled the stadium several times over, couldn't they?
Definitely. Tossed up by Shadab, drops nicely, actually Yorker length on the off stump and is dug out by Rohit. No run. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where you wish you had a bigger ground with more seats and that. You could make an absolute fortune, couldn't you, if everyone who wanted a ticket bought a ticket for this match. So, the way of the world. Some of the other games have all been reasonably attended, but some of the games have got underway with the grounds sort of half full and people just sort of wandering in. Even England, Bangladesh last week that we covered, when it started, there were a lot of empty seats. People drifted in, but I mean, this looked
10:30 is an early start, you know. For a day we're enjoying something, you're going to see cricket. You can mosey along. You don't have to be there right from the get-go, do you? particularly when you think a lot of it's been raining early doors.
Shut up, but quicker ball dumped into the offside by Rowett, takes off for one. Yeah, I don't think we saw too much of that this morning, did we? People were keen to get to their seats as early as possible, make sure you've got your spot. And no one comes in and takes it from you.
That's it, everybody getting their towels down. Mentioning that, Germany played yesterday.
She's pushed into the offside again. Rahul thinks about single, Rowett's not interested in the slightest.
In fact, Germany are playing right now.
As I say, it's Clash of the Titans in cricket today. Germany playing Italy. World League action, I would guess that is.
We looked at the German team yesterday.
It's a full toss and a reverse flick from Rahul, but he picks out the man. It's a short third man and there's no run.
Not too many noticeably German names in that German team. I don't know about Italy so much, so we'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, Jersey, they're playing Denmark today, and Guernsey playing Italy later, and Jersey playing Norway. Brilliant. Jersey have got the goods on Guernsey recently. They've been playing them a few times and seem to beat them every time.
The only cricket fact I can offer about either Germany or Italy is that Ted Dexter was born in Italy. That's the only thing I've got. Past that, my knowledge of Italian cricket is sadly lacking. So Imad starts, is the 21st over of this India innings. Rowett plays it up to long on and will take a single, leaving the capable hands of John for the next 10 overs.
Yeah, so
some Italian cricketers.
Batting for Germany at the minute is Harmanjot Singh and Muslim Yar. So and for Italy, they've got Rakib Al-Hassan bowling and Samira Achiga. Two typical Italian names there. Anyway, it is what it is. They qualify, so that's that. He might work away for a single, the first ball of this over. Next delivery. And spins away from the right hander, he dabs at that. There's a single on. Good backing up there. Sees him comfortably home. Rahul, very positive in his running.
So, I found one familiar name playing for Germany, Craig Mashady, for Somerset and
the South African
Morgan, So for German ancestors at some point further back to born in South Africa.
Next delivery, that's a nice shot whipped through the covers, but for just one. Yeah, and in the Guernsey team you see the Letiziers and people like that, so the kind of names that you'd expect. Next delivery, and it beats the diving fielder, again an easy single. Yeah, for Italy, Malik, Arachiga, Singh, Manolo, Mead, Munasinghe, Pereira, Hassan, Abdul, Ross. How many Singhs have they got in their squad? Well, they're out singing India, aren't they? Next delivery and whip through mid-wicket. So Italy, I'm just counting them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 5 Singhs in there. Quite something. Let's see what kind of names playing for Norway. We've got Sheikh Agnihotri, Iqbal, Bhat, Niazi, Marakail, Sheikh Ahmed, Ali, Iqbal, Ali, Haq, Yauri, and Wakas Ahmed. That's Norway's team. So the expat Pakistan and India players, they play all over the world, don't they? And it's great that they're taking cricket to nations who don't really know.
Well, that's it. It's just transporting the game around the world, isn't it? Which can never be a bad thing. The more countries get involved, the better, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but it'd be nice to see somebody break, like Afghanistan have. I mean, it's still sort of in an area where you suspect a lot of cricket's played, and on the border with Pakistan, obviously. But you know, if it spreads into Europe a bit more, you know, we know the Netherlands play a little bit. There's Malik is going to bowl now, Shoaib Malik. Never a bad thing, getting more countries involved.
I just think they missed a trick with this World Cup, really, didn't they? You've obviously got like Ireland who are not there, or Scotland. I think would surely make, to me, it would make more sense more teams split them into two groups and play it that way rather than keep it to a very confined field, which, particularly for Ireland, you feel really bad for them not playing in this tournament.
So balls in a stride and a block. No, I completely agree. I like the format of the other World Cup better. More teams involved. We like looking at Hong Kong and UAE and all those players. And also, it's like you get involved. Where's the benefit to the associate members? Well, you're not ever going to be good enough to get in the 8. No matter what you do, are you really ever going to be better than, you know, West Indies or something like that? It's really hard to break into the top, you know, into the top countries because, you know, I mean, say something like India. What is it? You've got a billion people to pick from. These guys are not going to drop out of the top 8 anytime soon. That next delivery worked through to mid-wicket.
Also, again, particularly for obviously Afghanistan are there and gain test status, but in Ireland, you've just given them test status, and yet you're saying, well, yeah, but you still need to play in a qualifier where just one team gets through, and Afghanistan are the team this time. It just seems a bit odd to me.
Next delivery and this one worked away, and I wonder how much is down to greed. Right, the big money item, it's India. Right, we're going to get 7 games out of India. We're going to play them later in the tournament. That'll keep the interest in India in the tournament for longer in case they're out. You know, it's very cynical, really. I think. So play them later. Make sure it's a table. They have 7 games. It's a good-looking shot from Rao. Takes on the shorter ball and hits it for 6. 50 for KL Rao. And again, not been over-expansive today, but what can he do? Succeed, and he's done that by getting a 50, by playing better than his average. It's on his 3rd one-day international 50.
Yeah, he's done his job essentially, hasn't he? To stay out there, offer support to Rohit, make sure India get off to a solid start, lost no wickets. Job done.
So I've gone for 9 this over, and now some more as he just flicks it round the corner. A little sweep. Expensive over this cost 10, and that's the way to give somebody their 50. I mean, it's a shocking ball, but he only just claws over the rope at 67 metres from Rao. He's not exactly a power hitter. Next delivery, again, he's offering an easy run leg side, so take it. Rohit certainly did that. 11 off the over, and that's not what Shoaib was brought in to do. Half jacket for an easy shot for 50, and yeah, they're just not getting it done.
No, not at all, is it? It hasn't really worked for any of the bowlers who've come on since the new ball. Every time new bowlers come on, the first over or so from them's been a bit poor, hasn't it? Shadab conceded 17 from his first over. Imad went for runs before timing it up, and Shoaib Malik's has gone for 11, so it's not really, no change has really worked in that sense, has it? India haven't suddenly come under a bit more pressure or anything like it, they've just continued on their way.
Yep, and now we're going to see Hafiz, 7th bowler. Safraz casts around looking for an answer, but he can't find any. 123 for none. Yeah, the run rate is not scorching. 5.59.
But when you've got all wickets in the hutch and you've got the Kohlis and Dhonis and Pandyas of the world waiting to come in, then if you're going along at 5.5 towards 6 with the opening partnership, you'd be more than happy.
Hafiz bowls, and that's slogged over his head for 4.
That was just, whatever you bowl at me, I'm just going to have a go now. You're the new bowler, I'll take you for runs, which he certainly did.
No conviction in Hafiz's first ball. And he danced down and he got to the pitch, and that was perfect. Skipped down. Hafiz next. Better line and length. But you kind of know that the next delivery row, it's going to wait deep in his crease and just nudge it away. It's time honoured that. Dance down and then waits deep in his crease for the next. And that's easy runs to be had.
Yeah, which again, it takes all the pressure off for the rest of the over, doesn't it? Because you've got a boundary off the first ball, and now you can just afford to pat it around for singles, and you'll still end up with 7, 8, 9 and over without seemingly too much effort, which, given India's position, is exactly what they want. Well, I've got to say that ball in the slot was a big miss by Rahul. I mean, he hit the ball, but he found the fielder, and I'm thinking, well, there's a few more runs to be had there. I think he's not bowling well. Next delivery, pitches it up, that's brave. And Rahul just watches that one, works it to mid-wicket. These two right-handed batsmen just going nicely about their business. Hafiz fighting back in this over until he puts one in the slot, and then that's a big 6. I mean, don't bowl in the slot, you can't afford to do that. On a day where the ball's not spinning or not really moving at all. That's a nice 6 from Rahul. Again, it wasn't a slog, was it? Just moved out of the way, made room, and just punched through the line of the ball.
I think we'd all have fancied hitting that, though. I mean, that ball's not going to do anything. It's right in the slot. You don't have to dance to get there. You just have to free your arms up and hit it. 134 for none. And Safraz wishing he'd not bothered with Hafiz, but he's got to bowl somebody. I mean, again, it might be one over spell from Hafiz, the 7th bowler used. Next delivery, and little sweep round the corner, but some sharp fielding there limits the damage. Well, Hafiz's first over has gone for 11, as did Shoaib. And is he going to continue with them in hand? I mean, Safraz will be thinking, well, what do you expect me to do with that? I mean, has he got to bring back Amir now to try and make a breakthrough? I think that'll be coming sooner. He's bowled 4 overs, Amir. He needs to break this.
Yeah, they desperately need a wicket, don't they? So you'd think either Amir or Wahab, or maybe both, come back in for a couple of overs each, have a bit of a dart. You say you certainly need a wicket. I mean, that's the guaranteed way to slow the momentum down just for a little bit. I mean, it'll only buy you 2 or 3 overs, but that's better than what's happening at the moment. And certainly when you look down that Pakistan attack, the 2 wicket-taking bowlers are definitely Amir and more than likely Wahab, aren't they? They're the 2 options I would be picking if I was the captain of Pakistan.
Yeah, I've only seen 6 overs from them. I don't see the point keeping them up your sleeve. Well, guess what? It is what happened. He had to do that. He had to do something positive, didn't he?
Even Australia had to do this yesterday against Sri Lanka. Stark had to come on and did the trick.
Wow, bowls. And that's cut back with a point.
I mean, yes, he might cost you a few runs because the seamers have got very little help. It's the same as the spinners today, but you're sort of in this position, you're going to have to unfortunately sort of barter and say, well, okay, you might concede, who knows, 10, 15 runs from an over or 2, but if he gets me a wicket or 2 wickets, then that's job done, and we'll happily settle for that.
Yep, we're just seeing where it's hitting the ball. Singles underneath his chin. He takes his 4 balls way in front of him or cutting it slightly behind him. Perfect, really. Rahul's 57 from 74 as the Wahab gets back to his mark. And the quick bowler comes running back in. Wahab at Riaz and slings a leg side wide. Oh dear.
So yeah, we were discussing this yesterday. Some wides that are wide enough, I think they should be a free hit as well as a no ball. So I mean, obviously some are just borderline. I mean, you see the odd one, perhaps a bouncer that goes way overhead, and you just think, well, That's as bad as just overstepping by a fraction, surely.
I mean, that's almost like it should be 2 wides. He's slung it that wide, nobody's going to hit that, and there's only one. He has to bowl it again though, of course. Ooh, and next delivery, again, fended by Rahul, the ball drops slightly behind him. He doesn't gather pace onto the wicket or anything, but he was just a little bit worried.
Another thing we pointed out, I think most of certainly the major contenders, if you like, perhaps New Zealand, are slightly different. Nobody ever seems to have a batsman who bowls little sort of medium-paced gobblers anymore. You always used to have the sort of Ravi Paparas and what have you. We just run the fingers over the seam, just keep it low.
Next delivery, blocked into the ground. I never minded that, Papara, or in this format, maybe Tim Bresnan, who could bat a bit.
Yeah.
Papara was a proper batsman who, if he got through his 10 overs, he tended to go for like 3.5 or 4, didn't he?
Yeah, because on these surfaces, they're obviously not doing a lot, and from what I've seen so far, the balls are difficult to hit. It's fullish and straight. Anything wide, anything short gets smashed. So you've just got someone just coming in, just bowling Collingwood style, just on the line and length. I think it can be tricky, but there don't seem to be that many batters who bowl that sort of stuff anymore.
No, that's right. I watched Morris yesterday for South Africa, who was devastating yesterday. Bowling line and length,
Yeah.
Sometimes that's exactly what's required, and other times those guys get smeared all over the pie, don't they? But yesterday, I thought he was harder to cope with than Rabada or any of the other bowlers, and obviously Tahir got a wicket with his first ball, googly, through the gate, lap of the ground.
He goes, yeah.
Brilliant. His next delivery, just blocked away. I think Wab got a warning there from running on. Again, we'll take a look and they'll show us where he does run on to. He starts by running on, and then does he eventually come back in? Well, it's the first effort, he couldn't get off the pitch quickly enough. And he's saying, is Erasmus saying that's the second warning for him? Or
might well be, mightn't it? In which case, yeah.
Next delivery, and there is a wicket. Rahul Prodsman is caught, and in the end, Wab does strike, bowling around the wicket to KL Rahul. And if there was a guy that they could afford to get out, it's Rahul. He played all right, a couple of nice sixes, didn't he? But he wasn't batting particularly swiftly enough, I felt. And they'll be trading up, getting Kohli in there.
It was almost wicket by default, wasn't it? So Rahab got that talking to and decided, right, well, I better go round the wicket to make sure I don't run on the wicket again, and that changed of angle. So it did for Rahul. It maybe just stuck in the pitch a bit. He tried to drive it on the up slightly. Yeah, it goes for 57 from 78. Scorecard 136, isn't it, for the one you say? That's certainly out of the two batsmen the one that India would be less concerned about. Another thing to bear in mind is obviously Rohit's record of going on and getting big scores is almost unparalleled. Double centuries in one-day international cricket, which is ridiculous, including the world record score of 264. So he's sort of, not only are you thinking, well, he's going quite well, but you're also looking over your shoulder thinking, actually he's got a record that says when he gets in, he goes big, he doesn't give it away.
No, I mean, he can out-hero Kohli, can't he, with the bat? That takes a bit of doing. Somebody who's probably, arguably, you'd say third best batsman of all time. Kohli, it might be proved in stats over Test match cricket in the fullness of time. Is Kohli better than Steve Smith as a Test match batsman? There's a nod next to me.
Is Kohli a better batsman than Steve Smith? Full stop. Yes. I suppose you could argue.
I would agree.
Is probably better.
Well, listen, he's averaging 60 in Test match cricket, Smith, isn't he?
Yeah.
But Kohli's not far behind that, and he's ranked 1. So he's decent in this format. Just dabs at the first delivery. He's I don't know if he's an egomaniac or something. That I don't enjoy watching the histrionics. I like watching him bat. I don't like watching him skipper a team necessarily. Oh, it's always Kohli watching it, the camera always on him, and maybe plays up to that a bit.
I was going to say, so he reminds me in some ways, strange comparison possibly, but he reminds me of Jose Mourinho a bit in that he's playing a part almost when the game's. As soon as he's off and he starts speaking, Ole's a very well-reasoned, intelligent, talks well, is well respected by other players, always seems to drop into the opposition dressing room for a chat and what have you, and is spoken of very highly. But as you say, in the games, he's sort of almost like he's almost got Andre Nels Gunter, hasn't he? He becomes a different character who's in your face all the time.
And it's like I agree with that, and it's like a performance, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has to be this persona.
Yeah.
Hassan Ali back in the attack, and was that wide? I think so. I don't think Roy could get that. Was it widely by the umpire? Yes, it was. I always think you look at people in the public eye. Remember Michael Jackson dangling his baby over the balcony? But it's like he just couldn't go there, present his baby and do it normally.
No.
Because everything's got to be a performance. After a while it's like, oh God, can't you just be normal? But I guess some people it's difficult. Next delivery, work back to the point. I watched Graham Norton on Friday night or something, Saturday night. And Madonna was on. And basically I thought it was quite bizarre. I thought I couldn't remember her being interviewed by anybody, but she seems strangely ill at ease. She had this ridiculous outfit on and she's wearing an eye patch, and you think, do you know what, I'd prefer if you'd have come with your jogging bottoms on and a comfortable top and just, do you know what I mean, and just had a chat.
Yeah, that's what that programme's for, isn't it? It's just a sort of general light-hearted chat about nothing, really.
Excellent, that's slogged through the covers with a man sweeping. Imam picks it up, good pick up, 139 for one.
It's one of those, and you can't please all people all the time. People always say, oh, they're a bit arrogant and this, and you think, yeah, but you don't reach the levels of sport or whatever it might be, business, whatever, without having a touch of that. You've got to be self-confident and a little bit arrogant and believe that you can do the job. It doesn't mean you have to act like an arse.
No, that's right, because
you have that attitude.
Some of the people that you think, oh, they seem like they're good guys and all that, end up not to be. They say you should never meet your heroes. Apparently David Gower's a bit rude.
I've met David Gower.
Is he rude to you? Oh, he nearly chopped on then. Wow, that's a better ball from Hassan, and he goes for four again. Right, it's lucky there. 80 from 67. Well, I've told you my Bob Willis story, haven't I? I was introduced to him, amongst others. I were in a bar, there's nobody in this bar. And I was sat down, introduced, and he said he sat on my seat. There's absolutely nobody in this bar. So I relinquished my seat just because I didn't want to make a big... Not that I'm against that, or I wouldn't fight or anything, but although he would have pummeled me to bits. But and the next delivery hit back with a point. But I didn't want to embarrass my friend who'd introduced us. It was Graham Murgatroyd, who was the ECB press officer at the time. Yeah. But you just think, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Yeah. Needless. Anyway, 144 for one. Hassan Ali's bowled a wide, and two singles, a four, a single. He's not exactly applying a tourniquet with his bowling. Next delivery drift through mid-wicket. And they've taken two there. I bumped into Gregor Fisher once, the actor who played Rabsinez. I was at a hotel and I got him to sign something, and he sort of looked at me with disdain. And I thought, well, he just sat there having a meal, and I should really have left him alone.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Sometimes people say, oh, these people are rude, but they've got normal lives as well. If they're out with family or whatever, they don't want to be hassled all the time, do they?
No, next delivery just blocked away, and I think if I was a celebrity, I would be a rude one.
I think I would be if I was out doing normal things, shopping, or say out eating a meal with your partner or whatever, and your kids. It's different, isn't it? If you just see someone walking along the street and there's no one else around, and you just politely ask them for a picture or whatever, well, okay. But if they're actually involved in something, it's like, well. You wouldn't like it if you were sat there doing stuff and someone suddenly came over and said, "Oh, can I just take a picture? You're doing this, that, and everything." Like, hang on a minute, I need some more food.
Nowadays, I think I'm not interested. So whoever it is, I'll leave them alone. Like, you know, if anything, try and avoid eye contact and all that. I was in a queue for a cinema and stood behind Paul McGann. But honestly, that's so hard because you just don't know where to look. Normally, you'd just be looking in front, but anyway. Next delivery, and that's worked through mid-wicket, no run there. Wahab has got the 1 wicket, and he's continuing.
I saw one of my all-time sporting Danes heroes once on holiday at Caravan Park. Ted the Count Hankey sat eating his dinner with his family, but again, he sat with his family, so I was just, like I say, I had a gawp, so it's Ted Hankey over there, but didn't go over and ask him anything because he was busy.
Next delivery, that's just fetched through the covers. Nice shot. Again, good scampering by him. He slides, makes sure he's a comfortable take, limits the damage to 2. I mean, it must be weird. Obviously, for the India players, you know, the hopes of a nation, but it's one mighty big nation, isn't it? 1 billion people who have an idea about you or think they know you, or that, you know, rough with the smooth. I mean, MS Dhoni, about one of the richest guys in India, isn't he, with the endorsements that he's had by being the skipper for a long while. Next delivery, hit back with a point. I mean, the bonuses for these guys is incredible.
But it is constant, especially if you're the captain. It is a constant sort of centre of attention, isn't it, all the time, which I think, you know, partly explains why Kohli's such a big personality. He's got the personality to deal with that and say, yeah, okay, I can do that, and I can still go on with the cricket as well.
Balls still bowling around the wicket. That's just a bit of tip and run for Kohli, who moves on to 4 from 5.
Brings up the 150 as well for India, 150 for 1, almost exactly midway through their innings. So certainly a major score on the cards for India at the moment. The other problem for Pakistan here is previously Rohit and Rahul's running was a little bit hit and miss. Kohli's very quick between the wickets, very proactive.
Next delivery, and more runs to be had, an easy single. I don't know if you'd seen the recent article, Robin Smith.
I actually saw an interview with him on, I can't remember, it was on BBC, I can't remember, Sports Watch or whatever it's called. I just happened to be up and let the cat out at about 4 o'clock in the morning, just put the TV on and said, alright, Robin Smith. So he was talking about his book.
Yeah, the astonishing article on the BBC website. This next delivery is half a shout from Wahab, ball crashing into the pad, but lacked conviction that going down leg side, I think. 151 for 1. It's the end of a reasonable Wahab over. I mean, it just shows as well, he was well respected, a big clubbing batsman, wasn't he? Huge physical man, square cut. He goes out drinking with Bolton and the big guys and all that, you know. Yeah. But yet, you know, somebody who actually was shy and that found life like that difficult, you know. His perception, his persona as a cricketer, larger than life with the lads, and then he's not really like that at all, and you know, and then subsequently, you know, dealing with the end of his career, which absolutely flummoxed him. And you know, sometimes you forget, you look at these guys and they're sporting gods, but they're just human beings. It's Hassan balls outside the off stump to Levi Rohit. I mean, you know, he was thinking about suicide and all those kind of things at the end of his career.
We also forget that they're young people as well. You get to mid-30s, if you're lucky, might be before then. Mid-30s, and suddenly the thing that you've done since you were a nipper, since you were a kid, so you've done for 25 years, is suddenly not part of your life, or a much smaller part of your life.
His next delivery, and that's a lovely 6 from Rohit. Hassan wide and full, and he just nonchalantly flicked that away for 6, didn't he?
It's amazing, isn't it? modern batsman, you say, it wasn't even a hit, was it, over a backward point, to sort of put the bat in the line and away it goes. It was almost impossible to hit that shot for six sort of 25, 30 years ago, but Rohit does it with absolute ease and comfort.
I mean,
so there's no even effort to try and keep it down, is there? Because you just know that you get the bat on it, it's gone for six.
Well, I mean, real economy of movement. I mean, my arms would be out of the sockets trying to hit that hard, but he just clipped that and it's flown for six. 157 for one, Rohit 91 from 74. And Hassan Ali's not bowling well. What's he got now? Better ball, good line and length, and try it that for six, mate. And he's got to block that one.
But again, he's bought himself the luxury for the rest of the over of nothing really needed, is there? Just tap it into gaps when you can. You say that ball much better, much straighter. You just afford to just drop it into the turf and go, okay, wait for the next one and see what comes. We've already got six off the second ball of the over, so even if you don't score another run in this over, it's six and over is absolutely fine at this point in the game.
Yeah, in comes the bowler. Decent line of length and hits the man back with a point. I talk about Robin Smith because we obviously get the players in these tournaments who are back-endish. We're not going to see Gale for another tournament, but I think he's pretty robust. He was actually enjoying his cricket the other day, messing about. Asim Amla, I was a bit worried about him watching him yesterday. His form has gone. You know, whatever he was as a cricketer, he ain't that anymore. You know, it's his last tournament. You know what some of these guys are going to do, but next delivery just worked off the legs. Hopefully he got media work behind up or whatever, something that keeps him in the game maybe. Imran Tahir, last World Cup for him. Now he started his spell with a wicket, first ball, googly and out, and did his lap of on. He got 4 for yesterday. He looks like he could continue for another 4 years, and he was fit as a butcher's dog.
And he quite clearly absolutely loves playing, doesn't he? So,
and he can continue for as long as he likes, I think.
Yeah, I think he's one of these people who'll have to be dragged off the field at some point.
I think he's 40, but yeah. This next delivery, sort of inside edge there, but into a gap that means that there's 2. Good positive running there, that by Kohli. So 9 off the over again. Hassan, he's just not getting it done today.
No, he's really struggled, hasn't he? That's what 5 overs for 45, which is pretty expensive, isn't it? 9 runs and over. I mean, the pitch isn't helping him at all. We've got to say that. But yeah, he's offered too many poor balls, isn't he? Wide or short, and they've got the treatment by and large because the Indian batsmen are good enough to take advantage. But he really needs to be just gun barrel straight. Okay, if the batsman whacks you down the ground, hits you back over your head, whatever, you just say, fine, okay, I'll take that. But it's going to be more difficult to do that on a consistent than it is, as Rohit showed in that over. Anything short, wide, just the way it goes, both sides of the wickets, it's easy runs, really, isn't it?
So, score predictor saying 3-5-1. Next delivery worked to mid-wicket. I still think he might be more than that. I still think top end is 370. Yeah, maybe not. But what it looks like at the minute, whatever they get, it's going to be a pretty big score. Can't see Pakistan bowling India out. They'll have to do that to contain them. Otherwise, they're 300 plus, and it's going to be, I think comfortably 350. This next delivery just switched off the hip by Rohit. Hard worked away. I think they just take the single there.
Any caution on that? Yesterday we saw Sri Lanka were getting battered by Australia once Finch got really going. Maxwell started speeding up. Smith made runs as well. Actually, the last 5 or 6 overs, not surprisingly Malinga, but also Adana, actually kept it down to sort of 4 or 5 runs and over in the last 5 or 6 just by bowling block hole Yorkers. Yeah,
but against their sort of tail enders, they have got distinct tail, don't they, Australia? Next delivery just worked away. I mean, I guess India, but can you even expose it? Bhuvi Kumar it starts with it, then Yadav, Chahal, Bumrah. That's again a distinct tail.
Definitely. If you were able to pick up 2 or 3 early wickets, you could put them under serious pressure, couldn't you? Because, as I say, they don't really bat too deep.
Just nervous spits up at Kohli. Good ball by Wahab, who's gone for just one this over.
It's where you expect on paper England to have an advantage, because England certainly back to, well, some games you've got Adil Rashid coming in at 11. Well, Adil Rashid's not necessarily a one-day player with any great repute, but his first class record's very, very good. So to have him in at 11 just shows you the strength of the lower order with the Wokeses and Plunketts and the like. Then England have got strength all the way down.
Yep. Next delivery just dabbed by Coley back at a point. There doesn't seem to be any glaring weakness. I mean, obviously you want Roy to be back and fit. I thought Root did a tremendous job opening. I'd have him opening for the Test match team anyway. That's a moot point. But what I like about England is the bowling. You change bowling, Plunkett gets wickets somehow. You know, you don't even have to bowl Stokes if you don't want to, but you know, it's usually Wood and then Plunkett. You know, so you've gone from 90 mile an hour to 90 mile an hour. That's a wide by Wahab. Slow ball, got it wrong. So you keep the pressure up. I mean, do you really want to see Mark Wood, who's been the quickest bowler in the tournament, as the first change? Well, great, we've got rid of Archer. Brilliant. Somebody even quicker.
Well, again, like you say, the moment they can use Stokes as a sort of shock bowler to just bowl 4 or 5 overs a match, he's not sort of overdoing it, is he?
Well, balls, and that's again just work backward a point for a single. Yeah, I mean, and then they brought Joe Root on, a couple of wickets for him when Rashid wasn't. I thought he overbowled Rashid the other day, but didn't matter. He went for what, about 6 and over or something, 5 or 6. No big deal.
Again, see, he's not really done much in this tournament, but the pitches are not helping.
No.
All spinners need a little bit of something, even if it's just bounce.
Well, Rashid Khan didn't bowl well yesterday.
No.
You know, and you think a lot of eggs in that basket for the Afghan.
Yeah, gotcha, definitely.
So, but he had nothing going yesterday.
Of course, England's at the moment they're playing with Moeen out the side as well, so there's another decent bowling option in the country. The one thing they did do, unfortunately, they sort of realised their mistake straight away and changed it, was they didn't pick Plunkett today against Pakistan, and they struggled to take wickets in those middle overs where Plunkett doesn't necessarily look like the most effective bowler, but actually in those middle overs he is the most effective bowler, and England struggled that day, but when they came to the next match, Plunkett was back in.
Yeah, restored in. Next delivery, and that's worked through mid-wicket. I mean, and that's not an obvious thing, because you think, oh, well, they'll apply a tourniquet at that point. Well, actually, if you get wickets, you're doing yourself a bigger favour, and he just has that knack.
Yeah.
You know, he's slinging it down leg side, you think, what's all that about? And then the next one, somehow, I don't know how he does it, but you know, he keeps on doing it. It's not, you know, it's not a vagary. He goes about it a certain way and gets his job done, and yeah, that's important. I think England are the best team at the tournament, but they still might not win it. Next delivery is a dot ball, and it's Amir back in the attack. So for India here, I think again, just see him off. One off the first delivery, then a dot ball. But Corley will realise. You see this guy off, there's not much behind it. The slow bowlers haven't delivered a blow. The only wickets come from Wahab but Riaz. So Amir back to his mark. Comes running in. Ooh, and he's had a go at that, Corley. And yeah, Amir wants to have a word with him there. Corley's not that interested. He comes down the wicket and he'll have a word back. So, well, I guess this is the duke out that we were after. Amir against Corley, and the first honours then going to Mohammed Amir. Corley 7 from 12. And now it's not the time to be dangling the bat outside the off stump. Baba is installed at first slip. The next delivery gets behind it and protects that ball down into the deck. So Corley, the batsman, under a bit of pressure here, and he positioned as the Indian captain is impregnable. He's the best player for India, their best batsman. Next delivery played down into the ground. Probably the best batsman in the world. And maybe, possibly, you know, the second best batsman of all time. Possibly. You need to work that out at the end of the career, I think. See how far he gets. But the sky's the limit for Virat Kohli. Struggling to get Amir away though. 4 dot balls after a single off the first ball from Rohit. And Amir running in hard. And that's a leave by Kohli. Good over from Amir. 5 overs, none for 9. He ain't going for many. Again, Amir wants to engage, but we've got to be really careful about running on. Well, so far the game is perhaps a little bit too one-sided. Might be looking to tip a big one here. So Rahul reaches 50 by way of a 6. Now Rohit got to 50. And again he just fetches that out in the field. Long run for Imam. They'll probably run 2 there. That's all. It's on the nervous 99 then. Rohit Sharma. The balcony getting ready for India, ready to celebrate, but it's 1 ball left of the over to do it. Roy is on strike on 99. They're going to come in for the single. Well, you'd have sort of assumed so. And they're making an effort to get closer, aren't they, Pakistan, putting under a bit of pressure. Balls. And he's hit off the back foot, through a gap. There we go. And that is another century for Rohit Sharma. His 24th. He got 42.50, so brilliant conversion rate, this guy. And he celebrates like he should. It's a hug from Kohli, pat in the back.
Almost all too easy, isn't it? Played some lovely shots. He makes it look really easy when he's going to the Pakistan haven't bowled as well as they might, but it's 100 from just 85 balls, 9 4s and 3 6s, and it's relatively untroubled. Those are under edge early doors that just missed the leg stump. But that aside, it's difficult to think of. I think the run out was probably the closest.
Yeah.
It's come since then. There's no real sort of false shots, particularly no near misses, no nothing. It's just been relatively easy as Mohamed Amir continues left arm over to Rohit, who just angles his down to the gap to third man and picks up a single.
So we're doubling the score at this stage, 3-4-6. 350 is what the score, they were indicating that. I was thinking 370 if they get cracking, and that's still on. But it's going to be a pretty sizable score. I'm not saying Pakistan can't get it, but will Bumrah and Co do a better job than Pakistan have done? Possibly.
Drives handsomely through onto a beautiful shot, beats extra covers, speeds away past the man and hit on 4 runs all the way. There was very, very little wrong with that set delivery from Mohamed Amir. Wasn't a full out volley by any means, it wasn't particularly wide of cut off stump. So it was just slotted in between 2 fielders and away it goes for a boundary.
Yeah, they're keen to celebrate Kohli's success there. The fans loving that. It was a really nice strike.
Those were as the bowler, you just think, well, I don't think I did much wrong there, really. I got it fairly straight, it wasn't too full. Just played a high quality shot as Kohli. Amazing again, Kohli defends down towards Dolly. No run this time.
And that's one of the things that makes the best batsman in the world. We talk about those that have the ability to hit the bat ball for 4, take advantage of that, but this guy hits a good ball for 4 as well. So as a bowler, it doesn't leave you much scope.
That's it, you're thinking more that pitch it there, where Amir pitched it was, say, fairly decent, certainly would have been whacked away by other batsmen, but Kohli's not just any other batsman as he is amazing again. Again angles it through that gap down towards third man. I think that's another single, so 6 runs from the first 4 balls. It's 31st over. India hitting 178 for 1 yard. At the moment, Kohli's moved on to 14 from 20 on his first boundary. So just past his century, 186. Look like they're happy and content to just sort of play Amir out. Obviously, if he offers up anything they can hit, they will. But no, he's not doing so. India, he's just slightly cautious against Pakistan's top bowlers. So it's outside the off stump here again. It's just an angle face the bat down towards third man for a single. Taking now 7 from this over. Already 1 ball still to go. Over this stage, he's only got 4 overs left after this,
and you get the feeling that it's going to go all the way, so you've got to take it back out, roll him at the death. So.
Yeah, Kohli, it is on strike, 179 for loss of 1 wicket. So Amir digs this in and Kohli hooks it into the leg side. They'll probably get 2 as Imam comes round quickly from deep mid-wicket, but can't get there in time to prevent the second run. So end of the over, so 9 from it in the end, so a very healthy over for India. 181 for 1 at the end of the 31st row. It's now on 102 and Kohli's got 16 to his name.
Cracking shot, that last shot. I mean, what he's doing there, well, it's a bit back of a length, but still a decent ball. He's making sure he can't get out. He's going to get right on top of that and hit it into the leg side, right down into the deck and into a big gap. You're just working that for 2. It wasn't such a bad ball, and quite difficult to manufacture something that would get you 2 off that.
As I say, quite a lot of the time from those sort of top players, you see them deliberately not try and hit the ball too hard. So as I say, it gives you that extra time that you can get the extra run. It's certainly a skill that's improved as time's gone on in his overs cricket. As Shadab's in to Rohit, on the back foot. Digs it down towards Longman. They'll pick up 1. Amir stands out like a sore thumb in his Pakistan bowling for well. 6 overs, 1 maiden, none for 18, which is very, very impressive.